There is a lot of talk, of course, about whether schools should open this fall in light of the COVID-19 crisis, coronavirus crisis, and different states having different reactions. Florida has ordered schools to open. Betsy DeVos, who is the education secretary, has said, we may withhold federal funds, education funds to school districts that won't open. But in the middle of all that, there was an amazing 2 bits of news I wanted to share with you about the whole idea of opening schools. One was MSNBC chose to do a panel. They did a panel of teachers, and they were asking these teachers, do you teachers, do you support schools opening in the fall normally in light of the coronavirus? Do you support schools opening? Here's that clip.
Would you let your kids go back to school?
I will. My kids are looking forward to it.
Yes. Period. Absolutely.
Absolutely. As much as I can.
Without a hesitation.
Without a hesitation, yes.
I have no concerns about sending my child to school in the fall.
I would let my kids go back to school.
Dr. John Torres, NBC News.
They all said yes.
Okay, I love that ending. By the way, I misspoke. It's pediatricians. So these are doctors being surveyed by MSNBC. Obviously not the answer that one host was looking for when all of these pediatricians said, sure, they can go back to school. And you hear many teachers making those statements around the country about, yeah, we should go back to school, time to go back to school. But I also want to share with you, we're going to talk about it more in the next segment, but just a hint of how the California teachers in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Unified School District, put out a statement, and you can read the entire statement on our website, americacanwetalk.org. But they were asked, essentially, California schools, we have all these kids in California. Obviously, they've been homeschooled or maybe not schooled at all since school shut down. Should we return the fall? And the teachers union put out this statement. I'm going to close out the first 5 by just reading you a couple of sentences in the preliminary document. I mean, literally the very beginning, the introduction to this lengthy argument made by the Los Angeles Unified School District Teachers Union. This is the United Teachers of Los Angeles Union, what they had to say. Let me just read the opening couple of sentences, what they had to say. LAUSD, which is Los Angeles Unified School District, they clearly want to get back to school with their students, but the underlying question at every step is, given broader societal conditions, how do we open schools in a way that ensures benefits outweigh the risks? Here's what they had to say that is simply mind-blowing. The COVID-19 pandemic in the United States underscores the deep equity and justice challenges arising from our profoundly racist, intensely unequal society. This is the formal statement by the Los Angeles Unified School District, the United Teachers of Los Angeles, their union statement about whether they should go back to school. They call America, they refer to it as that the crisis, the pandemic, underscored the deep equity and justice challenges arising from our profoundly racist, intensely unequal society. Went on to say, unlike other countries that recognize protecting lives is the key to protecting livelihoods, the United States has chosen to prioritize profits over people. They go on to just rip into the United States, into our government, into our culture, into our economy, as their basic argument for why the only way they can open schools in Los Angeles Unified School District is with massive, and understand, nothing less than totally Marxist demands made by this teachers union. I'm going to go through, I think it's important enough to talk about it. I'm going to go through some of them in the very next segment here in the show today, just to understand a couple of things. But I'll just tell you why I think it's so important. Number one, why would anyone, any parent who has a hint of love of America, any parent who has a hint of patriotism, ever send their child for a day to the Los Angeles Unified School District? You have teachers who hate America at the level they do. They are leveling these ugly charges. I mean, this is the ugliest, just vitriol at the United States. Why would someone send their child to that school is a very good question. Anyone who loves America. Number two, how do we get here that we have truly the spokesman for a massive teachers union opening this document, not with the question of How can we keep children safe? Where are we in the pandemic? Where are the numbers? How safe is it for children? What are the safety things to put in place? But just a vitriolic takedown of America. This is what they thought was the most important thing to put in the cover page, the introduction to their entire list of impossibly absurd demands, which I'll get to in the next segment. But it also tells you how successful the radical Marxist left in this country has been. That they've been able to invade the public schools, invade the teachers' unions, and spread their ugly, dishonest lies and vitriol about America into the public school system. The Marxists in this country have for decades been working to and they have to convince Americans to hate this country, to hate freedom, to hate free markets, to hate everything about America in order to sell their Marxist ideas. What you're hearing out of this teachers union is a result of decades of efforts by the Marxist left in this country to introduce hatred of America as a norm, as a basic assumption about what anyone might think about this country. You have Los Angeles Unified School District saying, eventually we could reopen, but the list of demands, we'll get to the next segment, but they're all premised on the idea that their job as teachers is not to make sure the children who will come to school sometime eventually learn math and reading and writing and science, biology, chemistry, foreign languages. These people are instilling in the next generation utter hatred of the American society, utter hatred of the construct of our society, utter hatred of freedom, free markets. The entire constitutional structure of our country is an object of ridicule, scorn, and flat out hatred on the part of these teachers, and it shows in what they wrote. And so I'll close out the first 5 today by saying this. The reason it matters to understand this, why I want to talk about it, is I don't think Los Angeles Unified School District, the United Teachers of Los Angeles, I don't think they're unique. I don't think the rest of the country is just, brimming with intelligent, well-informed, patriotic, America-loving people and the teachers throughout the teachers unions. I will say there are millions of wonderful teachers. I'm very good friends with some school teachers and some retired school teachers. There are millions of great teachers. And there are teachers who don't want to be teaching this vitriol about America. But who holds the power in the teaching world in this country? Who speaks for the teachers? Who lobbies this ugly, vicious attack on America on behalf of teachers? It is the radical left that controls the teachers' unions. The radical left that has decided they simply hate America, and everybody else, including the students they teach, are going to learn to hate it too. And that, my very fine friends, is today's first 5.